Now, the continued rancor within the People's Democratic Party, its presidential candidate and the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has refused to end. This is as the campaign ahead of the 2023 elections heats up. Now, we're joined by Arise analyst Kayode Otitoju to take a look at the continuing power struggle within the PDP, this disruptive influence of what appears to be the disruptive influence of River State Governor Nyesom Wike, and any hopes of possible conciliation, of course, with a focus on what critics are saying, his appointment of several liaisons and special advisors, estimated at possibly 100,000 appointments that he's made. And some critics are now saying this looks like strategic and calculated vote buying. What are your thoughts on this view?
Well, I think it is to strengthen his bargaining power. As a sitting governor and who seems to have been sidetracked by the party, is just getting things to show that actually is the beautiful bride. And really, the type of things he's engaging in is known as political gerrymandering. That is, you use ways that is really very difficult to pin you down to what you are trying to achieve. It's indirectly embarking on indirect vote buying.
So there's so many elements to this, Mr. Otitoju. Of course, the basis for this allegation is that these appointees are expected to serve as local government liaison officers and also wards that would probably function as his eyes and ears on ground. And like you rightly said, this is not something that is necessarily overt. It's being done in a way that might be hard to come back at using legal means. So what next? If in fact this is a technique for vote buying, what would your recommendations be for maybe even bodies like INEC to possibly investigate this, since they'll be functioning as wards and whatnot?
It will be difficult to investigate because the governor has power to appoint and recruit people to work with the government. And as special assistant, special advisor, and what have you, now totaling almost 100,000. It's like a Ponzi scheme, whereby you recruit few people, you empower them, and they now serve as link to improve or to recruit other people. Okay? The pyramidal type of Ponzi scheme. So once these 100 people are gotten, they will now liaise with their relatives, with their friends and whatever. On the day of election, those are the link people. And it's really very dangerous if PDP doesn't make peace with Governor Wike, because this means absolute control of the electorate and the voters in River State. Because once you let loose 100 young people and they are on salary for the next 4 or 5 months, okay, and these are the canvassers, indirectly, the name, the designation really is canvassers, not special assistant or whatever. Yeah, canvassers, vote canvassers. Yeah. And those are the people who will cluster the voting point on that day. And the people they have, convinced to vote for whoever Wike wants, there's no way you can prove it, because they will have been assimilated. And even if money should pass to them, it will have come maybe 2 or 3 nights before. And these people are people who know that actually the people they have wooed will not let them down. So how can INEC solve this type of thing? It's difficult. The INEC has been able to stop people using, what do you call it? When governors is in is sorry, incumbency power. Power of incumbency. And the power of incumbency means that actually, as a governor, you are more or less in control of agents of coercion, the military, the police, and whatever, and even INEC, until lately, when the INEC chairman said, no, enough is enough. And so it's not really easy to buy the resident electoral commissioners now, as it was still done in the June 18 election of Ekiti. So by the time they were doing the July election in Osun, the INEC had already blocked that.
And I'm glad you bring up the issue of the so-called power of incumbency, because another issue that is in contention here is Executive Order 21 by Governor Wike, and that compels political parties to pay 5 million naira for the use of public schools and sundry services for campaign rallies. So hand in hand with the appointment of 100,000 people, it looks like he's making the playing ground really, really difficult for other parties. So what will you say? Because some people will say, it's the competitive advantage of being an incumbent, while some people would say that this is an abuse of the power that you have enshrined in you as the incumbent. Where do we draw the line between abuse and using the competitive advantage of already being incumbent?
Yeah, that's
it's a thin line.
Power of incumbency, and you can't rule it out. But there have been some occasions where that power of incumbency was obliterated. For instance, during the second coming of Fayose, it was to take power from Fayemi. Fayemi was doing completing first time and was gunning for second term. And Fayose was gunning for second term as well. Fayose had support of the federal. Okay? Why Fayemi was the governor in situ. Okay? But Fayemi had already done what Wike is doing. He has embarked on Owo Arugbo, that is, he gives 5,000 per month to all the aged people from years 60 years and above, across board, not minding the political party. Because when you are voting on general election, it's not by political party. Then he has so many advisors and whatever. But Fayose now used the incumbent at the federal. That's President Jonathan. And 2 days to the election, millions of dollars were, flown to Ekiti to handle the election.
Allegedly.
Yeah. No, allegedly. Not allegedly. Proved. And the people who actually brought the money through the flight, was the talk of the town for almost 3 months. So what I'm saying is, you could say, yes, you are the one on ground, but the federal might, is more than the local might. Yeah.
Just so quickly, so Mr. Otitoju, do you think that these actions we're seeing from Wike might actually cost PDP in the general elections, based on the lengths that we're seeing to which they're going to carry out these alleged vote buying techniques? Do you think that from the electorate's point of view, when they're looking at this, that it might actually deepen that line of mistrust that already exists between those aspiring for power?
It depends on the percentage or the proportion of the total votes that PDP needs to win. If the total votes from Rivers is so significant that it constitutes almost, say, for instance, 15 to 20% of the votes needed by PDP, if they allow Wike to go the way it's going, then it will deny PDP victory. But if it's an infinitesimal, proportion of the total votes, that they can garner in the north, in the south, in the east, and the west, then if at all he gets the total votes of almost 800,000 people from Rivers, it may not affect them. But with what we are seeing again in the other platform, unguided utterances by the candidates,
yes,
saying that allegedly, you want me to use
allegedly
saying that
on that note,
Yoruba should not vote for and Igbo should not vote for
Mr. Otitoju,
allegedly.
One thing that is not alleged is that our time is up. Thank you so much for your time, Kayode Otitoju, Arise News analyst.